We've seen aLive play a very tight TBT on Belshir just a couple of days ago. He played against Polt in the wild cards.
Oh yeah, that was a real chess game.
That was a superb, like, positional war where the guys just sort of fought over the bridges all game long, and eventually aLive was able to outmaneuver Polt, but it was so very close.
Ben, how is it possible that PuMa is able to go head-to-head with the best players in the world in the NASL, and somehow in the GSL he's just never able to make it?
I don't think he cares. Why would you focus on the GSL when you can just cash checks from NASL every 3 months?
Honor? And it's still a lot of money in GSL too. Everybody cares.
Man.
Yeah. Imagine if you win GSL. You buy a yellow Camaro with yellow shoes.
I mean, PuMa, I don't know, man, but he's really never even... I mean, I'm sure he plays in the Code B qualifiers or whatever, but...
I know they're very, very hard. There are so many good players in there.
It's not because he's not good enough. It's impossible. That is not the case. PuMa is definitely good enough. He's beaten players like MC on multiple occasions. He's beaten players like Hero on... well, at least one occasion.
He beat MMA in the Into Extreme Masters World Championship
final. There you go.
final.
That's another great point.
It's like a Code S champion. It's crazy, but he's not there yet, man. Let's not overhype things. aLive is a fantastic Terran player who did a lot of stuff right. He was not to forget, like, build order wise, I don't think aLive got very lucky in the early phase of the game. He went for Banshee.
He was behind after that.
Yep. He ran into a Viking straight away of PuMa, so you could say aLive was fighting an uphill battle. And he was contained. It looked really bad. He handled it perfectly. Picked off Vikings, maybe sloppy control by PuMa, maybe well done by aLive. The truth is somewhere in between. But still, despite all that, despite everything that was working against aLive, he made it a super close game, which came down to one minor mistake, as you said, on sieging all those tanks. But wow, if you were PuMa in that situation, would you have stimmed it?
Nope.
There were so many tanks, and there were bio units as well. I mean, sure, PuMa had a ton of Marines.
Won the fight, man. It was just a perfect judgment, perfect snap call. One of those
how
things
he split it was just
separates the men from the boys, Kev.
No, not just. I don't just feel like a boy next to PuMa, man. I feel like a baby, like an infant.
I feel like a sperm.
No.
Too much.
Yes, man. Why would you do that?
Just saying, man. Before we were an embryo, we were something else.
Okay, I guess. Whatever, man. We see the refinery down in aLive. aLive is going for... he's mining a little bit of gas and then dropping the command center, while PuMa went for the quicker expand and dropping 2 additional Rexes. So both players kind of going for the same thing, but just in a different order.
Yeah, which is not incredibly uncommon in TBT. There are a lot of builds that have small deviations early, but they all sort of converge at the same place in the mid-game. And that looks like what we're probably going to be seeing here. As command center a little faster on one side and the infrastructure a little faster on the other. PuMa will have a very small lead economically. We'll see if that can translate into anything in the mid-game.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure how many of you guys have seen the games between aLive and Polt a few days ago. I kind of wonder, Ben, if PuMa saw those games between aLive and Polt. I can hardly imagine that he didn't watch them. What do you think?
He had to. I mean, come on, this is PuMa we're talking about. 2-time NASL champion, but when you're preparing, this is
super important.
This is it, man. This is PuMa's Super Bowl, right? I mean, the NASL is his event, and you have to pretty much bank on the fact that that he was looking at those games.
And I kind of wonder if he picked up something. But aLive played pretty much the most standard style possible on Belshire Beach, which kind of, as you pointed out when we were casting those games, felt a little bit like a Brood War TVT. It's just all about controlling space, controlling, well, Zelnaga White Stars were not a part of Brood War, but just controlling certain areas, and both players were just moving around, searching opportunities and seeking windows, which were often not even there, but every now and then when they were there, aLive was hitting them, and aLive played fantastic against Polt.
Yeah, I mean, he did. There's no other way around it. Both those guys played really good StarCraft, and that was... You know, I don't think that aLive... like, it's hard to say that aLive or Polt, that one guy is clearly better than the other. I did think Polt was going to win that series, and I was impressed with aLive's play. I was a little bit surprised.
+1 is on the way already for PuMa, so he's going to have that a little bit quicker than aLive. aLive starts moving out right now with his first bio units. I'm not sure if he wants to make something happen with those or not. There is a bunker over here for PuMa as well, so that's going to be very tough. Starport is going to be a little bit quicker for aLive as well. Regarding those series, I really thought it was going to be 50-50. Wow, this looks kind of cute. He left like this little empty square.
Yeah, man. He's making a seahorse supply depot.
No, it's like a...
No, not anymore. Now he's just building
No, it's a highway.
subdivision.
It's a highway.
So supply depot super highway?
No.
Yeah, I can see
Imagine you're riding on the road and suddenly everything pumps up. Wow. If you have the bitter truck, you won't be in any problems.
The
But
supply depot looks like a hungry robot to me. He's got his eyes closed and his mouth open. Feed me, Seymour! No?
no, I don't see it.
Nobody? Little
Sorry, man.
Alright.
I don't see it.
Somewhere somebody got the reference.
This is not the last best of 5 for today, by the way, guys. While we just see both of these guys macroing. Obviously, Combat Shield is on the way right now for aLive. Stim is on the way for PuMa, so I guess they did that in reverse order. Or, yeah, they did. One player preferred to get Combat Shield first, the other guy did Stim. In a straight up fight, Combat Shield is actually better. But of course, with Stim, you will be able to catch up units, maybe do some crazy movement. But neither of these two guys is planning to fight with both upgrades.
It's true, 5 Marines with Combat Shield kill 5 Marines with Stim.
Yes, that is correct. I know that. But yeah, if you missed today, so far we had 3 best of 5s and they were really awesome. Hero was down 0-2 against Ryung, came back and took the series 3-2, so we are going to see Hero in Toronto. Second best of 5 was between Stefano and BCQD, where Stefano was just too much to handle for the Serbian Terran player who qualified via the open bracket. Stefano took him out 3-0. The last best of 3 was between Hawk and Gonzi, which was excellent too. Gonzi taking the 2-0 lead, but then Hawk coming back and still winning the series with 3-2, so that means that we're going to see Hawk at our finals as well. And this is our 4th best of 5, and last but not least we're going to have Red versus the Muslim, which I think is really going to be fantastic as well, and I can't wait to see that series.
Speaking of our final, Kev, if you haven't gotten your tickets for the offline event, you should probably go pick them up soon. We've been just constantly sold out. And every time that we sell out, we open up more seats, and then we sell out. And then we open up more seats, and we sell out. And we've sort of reached the end of that line. We're at the point where we can't really open up any more seats. We did open up one more round of seats today.
Can we just buy like a lot of bunk beds? Would that work?
What can I even say to that?
Yes. Man, how cool would that be?
We did open up one more round of seats today. Our final.
With bunk beds?
I was gearing myself up to make another joke at Duran's expense, and you just totally killed me.
No more jokes on Duran, Ben. We see actually aLive. We can talk about our finals later on. Bottom line is,
buy your tickets, guys. Buy your tickets. We've got a few more tickets available. You can go get those now. aLive pushing up into the natural expand of PuMa, and PuMa actually looks
what are you doing with those Marines?
Unprepared with this. His army is out of position. He's losing a lot of SCVs. Oh my God. Wrong place at the wrong time. Somebody needs to give these Marines
wow, they're doing
scolding.
so much damage. Took out all those Marines as well. Now the reinforcements arriving of PuMa finally. And PuMa will be able to clear this up, but not before losing 25 SCVs.
Man.
PuMa had his Marines right here, Ben, and then he moved to the right side.
Kev, and the only thing PuMa can do right now is counter.
Yeah, he did take out a lot of units. Army supply. Oh, aLive is already ahead again.
Wow.
aLive took out a lot of Marines too.
PuMa's kind of screwed. No third command center. aLive. Oh wait, no, it's done. Never mind.
aLive was.
So
I mean,
it's not over. It's triple orbital.
But PuMa was so indecisive. He had those units pretty close to the ramp, and then you could just see on the minimap they were moving right, and then they turned around, and that was already too late. Then all those SCVs took a ton of damage, and actually most of them fell.
A couple of Marines facing off outside the third base of aLive, and Billy comes out on top this time.
aLive ahead with 21 SCVs right now. 2-2 is on the way for both players. Upgrades are pretty much identical. So PuMa's not going to be able to make the difference in that way, which he was in previous game where he had better upgrades for a very long time. We see a drop unfolding perhaps on the top side of the map over here, which PuMa is completely unaware of, and he doesn't really have a lot of units in position either, man.
Again, all his units are out on the map, kind of awkwardly placed. Like, what good is having your army here? Like,
maybe its orbital will be able to spot the drop. Where is the drop?
It's coming into the back of the natural, and it will unload. PuMa's got a few units, though, so I think he's actually going to be okay. In the time it took that medevac to get there, PuMa was able to macro out a few more units. Siege tank, though.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up!
Good
pickup.
Beautiful micro. Beautiful micro there by PuMa.
And picks up that medevac as well, so that went good for PuMa. That's at least something that worked in his favor a little bit. Now PuMa secured that third base as well. It's going to be way before. Where's aLive actually building his command center, man?
And exchanges like that are how PuMa comes back. aLive's third command center was built in his natural.
Wow, so aLive is expanding towards PuMa. Now PuMa is going to try to take control of this Xel'Naga Watchtower, but does PuMa have any siege tank? Yeah, he has 2, but aLive has 8.
Yeah, PuMa can't fight this army right now. He can try to run around and be more mobile than aLive, but if he tries to meet it in a heads-up fight, he's going to get crushed. 2-2 going to finish at about the same time for both players.
But I think all he wants to do is control this Xel'Naga Watchtower, but that's it's a little too late since aLive has so many siege tanks and he's going to be able to control that right now. I'm surprised that he didn't get a couple of tanks a little bit closer, because now he eventually might lose these Marines because they get in range of the tanks.
aLive macroing further and further ahead, Kev. He's at 170 supply against about 150.
PuMa's not down and out yet.
He's not down and out, not by any stretch. And he's got 48 SCVs, 50 SCVs to 70. And that's, it sounds bad, but when we reach a point of stability where both players can kind of max out, it does mean that PuMa's going to have the larger army.
Yeah, it might even be good in the long run, as silly as it sounds.
At the end of the day, it could be.
Oh, PuMa is actually going to siege in.
What you need to do, PuMa, all these Marines running forward to engage these tanks. The majority of the tanks will fall. And will PuMa win the fight? Will PuMa win this fight?
He's still down in supply, but his Marines are doing a fantastic job. He's going to be able to pick off maybe a few more Marines, but the reinforcements have arrived for aLive. PuMa pretty much fought that fight without siege tanks. Now aLive wants to counter, but aLive realizing that PuMa had a couple of backup tanks as well. That didn't go as bad for PuMa as you originally thought it would.
This rallied siege tank does not die. Takes a couple shots, but will live to siege.
And now it's really going to help out that aLive has the better economy, even though this is a planetary fortress, so it's triple orbital against double orbital. 3-3 starting right now for PuMa. aLive did not bother to start his 3-3 yet.
PuMa's disadvantage about 50 army supply, Kev. Well, 35 army supply, 50 overall supply. And aLive's going to max out pretty soon, just a couple of rotations of units, and he's going to be on 200 or 200, and he'll be able to start being really, really aggressive. It's still very hard to attack into tanks, and Belshir Beach kind of takes that one step further because there's two very distinct attack paths.
It's kind of like Xel'Naga Watchtowers. Well, not the map, but the way that you control the Xel'Naga Watchtowers.
Ah, yeah, okay.
Sorry, not the map.
And and as long as you can control those two paths, it becomes very difficult to.
They gave this old guy a job. He's like, all right, I know you're damaged and hurt by all these wars that you fought. We'll go easy on you. Just control the command center. But then, man, he met Solid Snake. Came in from behind.
Why is Solid Snake?
What?
Cardboard box. He's like kills him.
Yep, and runs away.
Into a box. That'd be really cool. I want a unit that does that. Do you know in Warcraft 2? Your elves, there was a cheat code that could turn them into trees.
I never played Warcraft 2, man. I'm sorry, I never played Warcraft 2.
It was cool. So you could have like a forest of trees, but it was actually elves, and if you walked too close, they would all die. aLive
is going to set up a huge sandwich over here. He still has the much bigger army. He's up 30 army supply, but he's going to be the aggressor in this fight.
And he's got a lot of Marines. Still, though, PuMa knows that if he just fights around his tanks, that he should be okay.
I would love PuMa to see maybe like drop on top of these. Yeah, it's going to be so hard. There are tanks everywhere for aLive. aLive is so well positioned.
Drop on top of this building command center, and that's a pretty good
move. Yeah, but a lot of Marines are about to come in, and it should be more than enough for aLive. Very well done by aLive, just leaving 6, 7, 8 Marines behind. He's going to pick up that medevac as well, so he didn't take any damage of that little drop.
I'm really impressed. We talk about it a lot, that leaving units in places is one of the harder things to do because you want your whole army together.
You always feel like, oh, I need all my units, but no, you don't. Wow, aLive has so many siege tanks. There's really a big difference between PuMa and aLive. aLive always gets more tanks.
And where does PuMa make it up, man? I guess at this point, because he's behind, he doesn't make it up. He's got a few more Marines. He's got a lot more. No, he doesn't. He doesn't have more of anything, Kev.
Small trivia as well, but the last time these two guys played against each other was in the MLG Spring Arena, and PuMa actually won 2-0.
They had 1-0 right now.
Oh, a lot of exposed medevacs, but now there are a lot of Marines as well, so won't be able to do anything. This is the moment, by the way, when PuMa's gonna have 3-3 and aLive does not have 3-3. Do you think he's gonna try to do something with that, or it's just too hard?
I mean, I think he would like to, but he's been down in supply and he's still fighting against superior siege tank numbers, so it is really tough.
There are a ton of Xel'Naga Watchtowers. It's sort of like a crooked Olympic flag on our minimap right now.
Sensor towers?
Yes.
Oh, and PuMa is going to try to take a little bit of a fight here, and he's going to stim and run forward, and using those superior marine numbers with the 3-3, he does push aLive back, and PuMa right now is sitting at a bit of a crossroads. He's got 190 supply. He's ahead in supply for the first time all game long. You have to bet on
upgrades, PuMa. If you would have gone right now, he would have maybe been able to pick up this 4th base, and definitely the 5th, but that's not going to be the case. Instead,
he might have grander dreams, Kev. He's moving as if he wants to engage all these tanks.
He's going to try to get a couple of Marines behind the mineral line over here. I think that's going to work as well. PuMa's being really annoying right now, doing all the right moves.
Yep, he's just literally 2 Marines staying alive, poking away at the SCVs of aLive. Still, this one tank line in the middle of the map, pretty daunting. Man, aLive is leaving these tanks so exposed that PuMa were to just drop on them.
That's how what I felt. He's going to send out one medevac right now with 8 Marines. And he's going to try to drop Marines right now on top of these tanks.
aLive is coming back.
And on the same moment, he's running in.
He's coming in with everything, advancing his entire tank line, and aLive is going to lose this entire position.
But he has
PuMa,
so many Marines as well.
But he can just fall back to his tanks. Like, PuMa has just basically advanced the board a little bit. He's moved ever closer to the next expansion of aLive.
Wow, look at the unit loss resource tab. They differ 30 minerals.
That's so sick.
In a 23-minute game.
11,567 to 11,595. Very, very close on resources lost. Very even.
That was like the best moment ever to look at that tab. Well done, me.
Best caster in the business.
Calculated.
Kevin RotterdaM van der Kooi.
Never said that, man.
aLive trying to make his way around the top half of the map. You didn't, but I did. And he's going to be closing in once more on the 3rd expansion of PuMa. PuMa's, you know, he's just a little bit too well positioned. A
small drop over here on the south side of this map, but aLive picked up that medevac as well. aLive has a ton of Marines over here, but he has to be careful. There are so many tanks everywhere.
I love the way that when Marines out of tanks, they just blow up and arms and legs fly everywhere. That sounds terrible.
This feels like a real war. It's like, but instead of mines, like burrowed mines, landmines, we have tanks blowing you up immediately. Doesn't it feel like that?
Heart of the Swarm and ultras can like come up and just throw the Marines everywhere. It's gonna be so cool.
aLive snipes that Viking as well, so no more vision over here for PuMa. Super tactical positioning game over here between these two excellent Terran players. aLive left quite a few units behind. Oh, PuMa's gonna drop quite a few Marines. Now PuMa's gonna stim in.
Oh, here we go. aLive going for it. Lots of Marines, but PuMa with so many tanks. This trade is gonna be exceptional for PuMa. Every Marine falls. aLive down to 150 supply, and at the same time, PuMa using this opportunity to move across the bottom half of the map.
Dodging the siege tanks.
Deny this expansion.
A couple of Marines coming in from behind, but PuMa has so many Marines over here. When I said PuMa stimming in, I meant, of course, aLive on the north side.
Oh, stim Marines do damage so fast. Planetary taking lots and lots of fire. SCV's trying to repair, but they cannot hold the line, and PuMa taking a really strong hold here in this mid-game. aLive had so much money banked up, but then he just threw away an army.
And before that, PuMa already forced aLive to cancel this base over here. Now PuMa's going to try to do something. He's going to land 2 Vikings in the middle of these siege tanks, Ben. And one of those... Oh, never mind. aLive bringing in reinforcements. For a moment, I thought they were that they found the sweet spot, but they did not.
aLive forced time, Kev.
You always think you're there, and it's just... It's okay, Ben.
Oh man, aLive still hanging on to this.
I don't know where to go with that.
In the top of the map. PuMa did a great job picking off an expansion there in the bottom half of the map. Also picked off 2 more building command centers.
Both players are maxed out right now. PuMa's, no, actually aLive having the better mech upgrades, which makes a little bit of sense. He's always a player with more siege tanks. It's 15/12 right now in favor of aLive, but PuMa's still having the more Marines, trying to be as active around the map as possible. Huge engagement right now.
He's losing a lot of SCVs there, but those SCVs absorb a lot of the fire, allowing the Marines to do a great job, and PuMa will shred, well, kill a lot of tanks and a lot of Marines. Was this worth it, though? How many SCVs did he lose? 51 SCVs in total have died now, taking PuMa down to just 39 harvesters. He does have a lot of orbitals.
He has 3 orbitals. He has 4 orbitals. I think it's more than fine. I really don't think that was a big deal, as long as he has the time to replace those units, and I'm pretty sure he will. I just feel that PuMa has been outmining aLive for such a long period of time right now, Ben. I don't think aLive can afford to lose armies for much longer.
Oh, aLive's going to use this opportunity to attack into PuMa. He's got far superior numbers. PuMa's going to lose these tanks, and supply-wise, it's still so close. Check out resources lost now, Kev. Still only 200 resources separating these guys as they're trading so evenly for 30 minutes. This game playing out a lot like aLive versus Polt, where they just battle for control of the center and they trade control over and over. PuMa forced to lift this central expansion after losing those units in the bottom half of the map, but he does have top right. He's making a planetary there. Yeah,
aLive is finally going to get trying to get like a real fort base again. Well, this one was his original fort base. He mined quite a bit over here, but he's always been losing a lot of SCVs, has to abandon it every now and then. Now he's going to get a 5th base. What PuMa knows about this, and PuMa has been on 5 bases for quite a while.
That's right,
4.
But it's just a small lead here for PuMa.
It is. Well, army supply is up 30, and 30 is quite a big deal.
Oh yeah, it's deceptive because of the
SCV losses.
40 to 61. So.
And PuMa is on quadruple orbital, so it's okay to be down in workers.
And look at this, managing to find the army of aLive without the tanks.
Wow, PuMa, that was your moment.
Well, even still, I think it's okay as he's taking the Xel'Naga Tower, has the vision, and at the same time is dropping the bottom expansion of aLive, killing a lot of SCVs. There's no units here for aLive. He's stimming and running in as quickly as he can. PuMa, knowing that he's done damage, just backs up into a good spot and actually ends up retreating there.
Well, both armies might meet each other right now over here in the top side of the map. Big stim by PuMa. He's going to siege up, and a lot of Marines over aLive.
One big tank shot goes off. You saw one Marine's shoes flying off the corner of the screen there. But
yeah, I like his Nikes. Not
with minimal losses, yeah.
Were those a new Nike Max from last season?
I think they matched his Ford Mustang.
Yellow Nikes, not bad. Still that orbital floating over here from PuMa. You might want to eventually land it so you can use the energy, but he's not maxed out yet, so no biggie. aLive has been losing SCVs as well, and I really don't think that's all that bad because he wants to get a bigger army too eventually. But neither player is particularly rich right now, despite earning so much money.
Man, these guys are just trading constantly. And really, it's PuMa who's been just ever so slightly more cost-effective, in spite of being a bit behind at the very beginning of things.
It's just really hard for either player to make a real move right now, because despite not having vision... Sorry?
This is just game 2, isn't it?
This is just game 2, right? I mean, both players have just so much vision. They have Xel'Naga watchtowers all the time, and more importantly, the sensor towers, they give everything away, so it's really hard to surprise your opponent.
Yeah, but PuMa's managed to catch some tanks in an awkward spot. He's just going to march right forward, bringing some SCVs with that army to absorb some damage. And again, he gets a good trade with aLive there in the middle of the map. Yeah,
aLive losing a little bit more than PuMa right there. Losing those tanks. He had those tanks there for a very long time, though. It was just purely to control the space and maybe the Xel'Naga watchtower. PuMa retakes that one, and PuMa also has the top Xel'Naga watchtower.
Sees these tanks on siege, and that's going to allow PuMa to reposition a little bit at the top half of the map. But ultimately, no real fights happening there. Both these guys just trying to control the Xel'Naga Tower. That vision is so important.
Sick high level TVT here between these two guys. PuMa's going to try to make another one by a couple of tanks on siege. PuMa could potentially pick him up. That's exactly what he's going to do. A lot of Marines coming in though, but at least he picked up those 2 tanks.
Good trade there. He's going to lose some medevacs though, so 2 tanks and some Marines for 3 medevacs. Hard to say who got the better end of that exchange. The important thing though is that aLive manages to keep mining off this bottom expansion.
Look how close these bases are to each other. I think it would be very good if PuMa can get some tanks over here.
Yeah.
And then maybe a tank over here.
Slow push down. I could see that working out. These guys are just like Belshire Beach TVT is just so it's just a chess game. I mean that's the most overused analogy when you talk about TVT, but I've never seen it exemplified more than it is on this map.
98 Marines right now for PuMa, 94 Marines for aLive. Both players having 13 siege tanks. PuMa just having a few medevacs more. That's really the only difference that there is. Both players have 3-3 bio. I guess both players have... No, actually PuMa still only has +2 on his tanks. aLive has +3. Ooh, aLive not siege with those tanks. Wow, PuMa's doing that so well.
Great snipe there by PuMa, and at the same time he is moving around the top half of the map. Look at all these exposed tanks, Kev. There's no bio there. And PuMa's going to be able to get a position on this expansion, just like you said, pushing down from the top. Planetary taking crazy damage and falls just immediately. At the same time, PuMa's still fighting on the left side of the map.
aLive losing a lot of Marines. Definitely good exchanges for PuMa happening all around. PuMa, who's up 1-0 over aLive, right now has more supply, as well, not better upgrades. aLive has one upgrade more in his tanks, but PuMa has a huge bank, and PuMa is going to be able to mine still way more than aLive is. Did he ever do something with that orbital? Yes, the orbital's over here.
Yep. aLive, his main completely mined out. Should probably consider floating this orbital somewhere.
First real drop for a very long time. He's going to pick up the sensor towers straight away. I can't blame him for that. Those sensor towers make it just so hard for him to drop, but eventually these Marines won't be able to get all that much done.
Yeah, PuMa was pretty quick to respond to this. He might lose some depots, and at the same time, he's dropping on tanks on the right side of the map. Look at this move. Kills 1 tank, 2 tanks. Loses the medevac, but still not a bad move there by PuMa while aLive was working on that drop.
Man, PuMa's not very nice to his soldiers. It's like, hey
guys, I'm gonna drop you from a flying spaceship onto siege tanks. You're probably gonna die. Just kill as many of them as you can in the process.
All right, here's your gun. Wait, you don't need a gun. You're gonna die anyway. But
Marine's like, okay.
Bad luck Marine joins the army. Gets dropped between siege tanks. Nice exchange going on over here on the top side of the map. aLive looking pretty good, but the reinforcements from PuMa just seem to be too much right now for aLive to handle.
Oh, and look at this. And the real thing that's killing aLive right now is his income. PuMa's just out mining and able to replenish his forces faster. But look at that. Now aLive in the middle of the map, like a spearhead thrusting through, separating PuMa from the majority of his army. And now PuMa's in an awkward spot. His main base is a bit exposed. aLive not able to get all the way
but over the last
across the bridge.
5 to 10 minutes, I just feel there has been a lot of minor exchanges, but most of them are in favor of PuMa. The resource loss tab is showing this now as well. aLive lost 3,000 more than PuMa, and PuMa has been mining more for the majority of the game.
Yep.
You thought you were really fun. I didn't catch your joke, Ben.
I did make a joke.
Something about the sparrowhead.
No. Just don't. Just leave it.
Okay, I'll leave it. aLive is going to try to improve his position over here on the north side of Belshire Beach. PuMa scans it. PuMa is aware of this, but he's not able to do it right now.
Good position for aLive as he's closing in on this top right expansion of PuMa. PuMa's just got the planetary and a single tank there. And he's not really in a spot where he can engage that army. Instead, he's just going to threaten to counter. Is he going to move down on this middle expansion? It's only mining gas, so PuMa doesn't really gain much if he kills this planetary. He's going to do it anyway.
Why not, man? It's good for moral. A couple of Marines stimming over here in the bottom side of this map. aLive is going to stim in with a few Marines, but there are no medevacts for aLive there, so aLive is going to need more units than just this. Look at these medevacts, man, being so effective.
Hero medevacts, but they will ultimately go down.
Same one with aLive is going to try to make something happening. Maybe pick up this orbital, even though there are no more minerals left.
What a mad game this is. These guys are mining out Belshire Beach. More fighting here on the bottom, or the center part of the map, as PuMa's dropping into the main base of aLive, trying to take out some of his infrastructure. So PuMa's lost basically his main mining expansion. He's got 2 more bases landed around the left and middle part of the map, but they're not really mining much.
aLive dropping a lot of Marines in range of these tanks, but just not close enough. He's not able to do a whole lot about this. PuMa is taking a 60 supply lead right now, and a 70 supply army lead.
And the most important thing right now is that aLive he doesn't have the money, Kev. He's barely mining. His 4th base or 3rd base is mined out. His 4th base is mined out. His 5th base was killed. He's got an army that's just committed in the top half of the map, but you know, eventually it'll be cleaned up. PuMa will be able to deal with it ultimately.
PuMa sending more Marines to this left bottom side of this map. He knows that this is one of the few remaining mining bases for aLive. The orbital's taking a lot of damage.
Oh, SCVs, can they repair fast enough? It doesn't matter. GG. PuMa goes up 2-0.
The NASL beast just keeps on going, takes a 2-0 lead over aLive, the IPL 4 champion. But PuMa's not there yet. He's going to have to win at least 1 more game.
1 more game for PuMa. We've seen a couple of sick comebacks already today, so aLive, don't count them out, guys. Short break, and then we're back with game number 3, PuMa versus aLive.